Hello, Gemini. My name is Paul, and this is Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And if there is anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. And remember, Gemini, that you are the most important part of any tarot reading. 10 of Swords. So we're breaking out of something that's limiting, right? I like to think of this card as the gilded cage type of card that we are getting out of. Right. Let's put that into some context. I kind of feel like this is us breaking free. This is us really getting some clarity and some illumination about something that has been holding us back, restricting us. Okay, but let's put that into some context. There is a deep drive, there is a real intensity, a real impulse to break out of this cage right now. And it seems like we are being counseled, there's a lot of fire here. We're being counseled to kind of hold our horses, so to speak, right? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one card from the Smith-Waite Tarot that we randomly select. We'll put Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, Gemini. Okay? And hopefully it can tie everything together, give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. We're also doing something a little different here. If at any point during the reading you get an idea, a sense, a feeling, a little tickle about what this card is, I want you to put your answers in the comment section, okay? I'm trying to see if we can collectively raise our vibrations, if we can collectively tap into our intuition and start discerning this mystery card together, okay? That's kind of an interactive exercise here that I think over time we'll find we get better and better at figuring this card out, okay? But first, let's look at what we have. We have only one major arcana card. And according to the kind of unwritten rules of this channel, anytime we get one single major arcana card, one trump card, we have to do an Jing hexagram. Okay, so we will be doing that shortly. We've got fire, fire, and fire. We've got water at the end. The satisfaction, the perfect happiness is coming. Okay, don't worry that this is never going to pan out, that this is never going to reach fulfillment, that you will never be satisfied. You will. You will. We have to get through this air energy. There's a lot of air. There's a fire, but there's even more air. Okay, and then we've got some earth energy with the 8 of Pentacles, but also this Hermit is some earth energy. This is some Virgo energy here. All right. So I feel like we're being counseled to kind of hold our horses, to slow down. Okay. The card of the environment is the Knight of Wands. This is saying that we might be trying to rush forward too fast with something. We might be getting a little carried away about something. Okay. It is something that we feel very passionate about. We've got the Princess of Wands trying to get out of this gilded cage. Okay. It may be that some of the facade has crumbled off of this. Maybe it doesn't seem gilded anymore now. It just seems kind of rusted and, not very inviting, not very welcoming. We're feeling a growing anxiety that we need to get something done. We need to get out of here. We need to do this. We need to break free of this 10 of Swords. Okay. There's something holding you back. Situation, relationship, a job, a career, a belief, a commitment. I think it has to do with this Three of Swords. Okay. Because the Three of Swords to me is memories. Mostly memories of unpleasant things. Okay. It's a 3. It's all about understanding the process of creation on the mental plane. So this card is showing us how, in our minds, we recreate, we remember things. We put things back together and create the situation. We put ourselves right there in the middle of that trauma again in our memories, right? We're putting it back together. We're reconstituting it. And this is kind of re-traumatizing us, right? This is the kind of living in our head about something, reliving something over and over and over again, right? We're re-experiencing it. And whatever this was, I don't want to speculate what this is for you. This is a deeply personal event, series of events, period of time, whatever it is. It's uniquely yours. We all share and we all have the Three of Swords. The details are going to be different. We don't need to share those details unless we choose to. Right? But this card is here to remind us that we are doing this now. That this is in the past. This is behind us even in the spread. And this might be what is creating this cage around us. Because of whatever this event or series of events or a period of time was, that we are now constantly recreating, remembering, and re-experiencing is creating a limiting belief about the world, about ourselves. It's somehow restricting us, holding us back. But we are getting clarity. This is the sun in Gemini. Things are going to become clear. But this Three of Swords is Saturn in Libra. We have to slow down. We might be finding it challenging to communicate, to understand within ourselves and to communicate outwardly what it is that we really want or need. Okay? And there's a reason here for the Two of Swords. This is underneath everything. This is kind of the foundational card. This is saying, look, we need to get this intuitive understanding. We need to be able to, we need to get some certainty based on other data, right? Not this air energy. We even have some rather challenging air energy up here with the Seven of Swords. So the first thing I want to do, since we're talking about the 3 and the 10, we've got to do a botanical inspiration card. And these are just kind of some affirmation cards or some kind of oracle type cards that I like to use whenever we get some challenging air energy. A 3, right? A 5, a 7, a 9, a 10, an 8 even. And since we have a couple of those troublemakers here, we'll do one of these cards first for that Three of Swords. Okay. And we have the Camellia. Destiny. It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. So this Three of Swords is kind of creating a destiny that we don't want. It's creating this cage around us, right? So we have to focus on a different destiny. That's very interesting. You know, this is this air energy here, and with the cards that we see around it, I think it's time for us to slow down. It's time for us to really, really understand what we want. What is our destiny? What is the happiest life that we can discover, that we can manifest? The 10 of Cups here is the end. I don't mind starting at the end. I don't mind starting at the end of the path of the serpent, the final outcome, perfect happiness. This is the picture of you having that perfect joy and happiness in your life, right? This is the picture of perfect happiness. What does it look like? You know, anytime I get a 10 on this channel, a 10 of wands, cups, swords, or pentacles, I like to ask a question. What does this look like to you? What does your picture perfect happiness look like? It's kind of a rhetorical question, but I want you to think about it. You know, I think you have to try to understand what it is that you truly want. What is your paradise? What is your kingdom of heaven? Right? And this, with the 10 of swords, this is also a time for a question. What is it that is surrounding you? What is it in your environment, in your world, that is restricting you? Right? This card is about getting out of that, right? We're getting out of that cage. That restrictive energy is coming to an end. We're feeling a growing anxiety that we have to hurry up and do this, right? We're ready to just kind of bust out of there. But we're being counseled to slow down a little bit. I think that you're kind of on the fence with a decision here with this 2. And it's a decision that we're not going to answer intellectually by weighing pros and cons, by considering options. We need the intuitive kind of clarity on this. We're kind of, everything's resting on this decision. Maybe we're on the fence, right? Maybe we're on the fence. Maybe the 8 of Pentacles is up here to say, hey, look, the situation that you're in, it could get better, right? Maybe it will. This is the Sun in Virgo. Maybe what we're creating now, what we're doing now, maybe it will improve. Maybe we just need patience, and we need to wait and stay hopeful, and things will get better. I don't think you feel like that's true, though. We've got all of this fire energy here. You're ready to just bust out, right? But I think we're kind of on the fence. I think we need that intuitive understanding. Okay? And I think we need to stay kind of on the fence here until we get that clarity that we need. That will tell us whether or not we need to hurry up and bust out, or whether we should wait and have patience and prudence and see if we can improve the situation that we're in. Okay? And again, I don't know if this is a work thing. I think it's definitely, I hate to use the word triggering, but it might be awakening some of this 3 of Swords stuff, whatever situation you're in now. Okay? But perhaps that's the fence that we're sitting on. And unfortunately, it kind of looks like we have to, even though it's uncomfortable, we have to kind of stay on the fence until we get that intuitive certainty, that clarity, right? That comes through the lunar energy of this card. It's not through the intellectual reasoning of it out, okay? Because I think we'll just keep going back and forth. We'll find reasons to do either thing. Now we move to this Hermit energy. And the Hermit to me feels like the sage. Right? Feels like the wise person. It feels like someone who probably casts an I Ching hexagram very often in their life. And we're not going to read 3 of them, so we'll continue to shuffle. Usually a card falls out, I'll read them all, but that's too many for this Hermit. There's the one we need. That's the one. I feel that. And that is 24, returning. Creating success, going out, coming in without anxiety. Partners come, not a mistake. Turning around and returning on your path. The 7th day comes, you return. Fruitful to have a direction to go. Returning, interesting. Your journey leads you out and home again in a two-way flow of creation to revitalize and restore Traveling companions walk alongside you for a while, but if meant to be there, they will never steer you off your path, especially with an overarching direction and purpose to guide you. What is beginning to germinate? How can you follow your sense of direction more closely, and where might the path lead now? I think we are on the fence, coming or going. Maybe this is what we aren't sure of, right? Are we escaping? Are we leaving a bad situation? Or are we kind of impulsively flying into another bad situation, right? We don't know really whether we're coming or going here. You leave one situation, you might find yourself in an even worse one, right? But if we stay here, is it just through a kind of false hope, you know? That we're going to try to just make do with what we have when we're missing out on all this potential outside. So I think the hexagram here is showing that the wise thing is for us to figure out what we want, right? What is our path? What is beginning to germinate? What is this Princess of Wands energy? You feel this growing anxiety that something's got to give, something's got to be done. What is it that's growing in you? And where might that path lead? So I think the Hermit is taking some time to get to that inner mentor, that inner teacher, to find the light within, right? How can you follow your sense of direction more closely? Well, by finding your own inner lamp to light the way. And that will tell you what side of the fence we're coming out on. Okay? So an 8 of Pentacles up here is saying, look, don't make any harsh moves. We've got this fire energy over here. We feel like it's time to just go, right? We've got the Knight of Wands there. We're going to start with a Queen of Wands here on the path of the Serpent. This is water of fire. This is the fire energy on the outside, being very informed by the water energy within, by knowing ourselves, by reflecting on what we want, what we desire, what our destiny is, what our fate is, what our spirit tells us. It's having patience and understanding. Inwardly. Outwardly, we're all fire. We're ready to go. We're strong. We're confident. Right? We're standing up for ourselves. We're making decisions even if we piss people off. And it's with this kind of balance that we can have that Knight of Wands in the environment. Because this is just, the decision gets made. You know, once a bullet leaves the gun, there's no putting it back. Okay? And that's a very serious kind of metaphor. Because once you do this thing, once you make this decision, there's no turning back from it. There's no undoing it. So we need to start with the Queen of Wands before we unleash the Knight of Wands in the environment. See, it's time to make a decision and follow through and just let it fly. But we have to do this other work first before we initiate this plan. Okay? So we need to do this work on the path of the dove. Take care of yourself until we get this intuitive, lunar, psychic influx of clarity that can tell us where to go and what to do and how to do it. And then we can initiate that action. Okay? So we feel that growing anxiety now. We don't want to do something rash and impulsive. We want to really be sure before we do that. Well, The next card then is, well, it's a 7 of Swords. It's more fretting, right? This is what we don't want. We don't want, and see, this is a lunar card too. This is the idea that we're waiting for this intuitive certainty, this clarity. But the fear is that we get that, we're going to doubt it. We're going to question it. Right? We're going to see all these other reasons why maybe that's not real. Maybe that's not really right. You've ever had that happen where you obtain an answer either through divination, flipping a coin, or through a kind of free association. And we say, whatever the coin says, that's what I'm going to do. Whatever the cards say, that's what I'm going to do. Or you say, we try to do that, the spontaneous thing, right? Where you ask yourself a question and answer it immediately. Don't hesitate. The longer you hesitate, the more swords start appearing in your mind, right? The quicker you can answer, the closer you are to that intuitive response, that spontaneous response. But this card is saying that you might not like the answer that you receive, and so then you might start questioning it and doubting and saying, well, maybe I need to, then all these swords pop up. Should I stay or should I go? I should go. Well, maybe I shouldn't quite go yet. Maybe there's something else that I'm not seeing. Or there's only so much we can do with that. We've had the swords. We've resolved the swords to basically 2 options. And we're waiting for that intuitive lunar influence. But then when it comes, we're doubting it, questioning it, we're second guessing it. We're saying, well, maybe not. This is the energy that we want to avoid. This is the obstacle, because this is kind of, you feel something in your gut. You feel a kind of spiritual response. You feel a message, right, from the divine, and then we question it. So since that's a 7 of Swords, we have to do another botanical inspiration. Let me know what you think of these cards. I kind of like them. I think they work very well for our mischievous swords energies. Okay. We have the flocks. Harmonious and unanimous. That's very appropriate for a 7 of Swords, right? He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe, Marcus Aurelius. Not gender specific. So if we live in harmony with ourselves, we live in harmony with the universe. It's about unanimity and harmony. Unanimous. All of these swords have to agree. If there's one element of doubt in there, it's not going to work. We get that answer from the universe, and we have to be fully united. Fully united with it. Right? One element of doubt or second guessing or questioning destroys that harmony. It's no longer unanimous. You can still try to push it forward, but there's going to be some dissent. Okay. It's very, very poignant card. So I think it really does kind of center around this hermit energy, that we need this introspection, that we need to slow down, we need to take care of ourselves and tap into our inner guide, this lamp of wisdom, so that we can see, that we can get the clarity. Right? The sun in Gemini, the sun in Virgo. We need the clarity before we can move to the path of the serpent and get things done. Then we can get to this 10 of Cups. And this 10 of Cups is going to be beautiful. We know we're going to get there. We know this is what we want. We know we're going to get there. We just have to figure out what the right decision is right now to do that. Okay, let's select our mystery card now. I think it's time for the mystery card. Thank you, Mr. Dow, the yin-yang duck. This is the point of the reading where I'm going to ask you to try to connect with these energies, with these images. See if you can tap into your intuition, and let's discern this mystery card together. This is an interactive exercise to try to put you to work since you're here anyway. Pause the video if you want. I will venture a guess here in a moment. Okay, well, I kind of feel like it's a Wheel of Fortune. You know, I feel like it's something that has to do with fate and destiny, something that has to do with timing, right? So that's my guess. Put your answers in the comment section. Here we go. It's not the Wheel of Fortune, but it is the World. And the World card is associated with Saturn. Not only is Saturn the planet that's ruling the cycle of readings on this channel, but Saturn is also kind of this idea of chronos, of time. And we may not understand the timing of things, right? Our human perception of linear time is not the same as spirit, really, if that even is a thing. If timing, if time, if sequence, if causality is even a thing. But even in a relative way, cosmic time, right? Millions of years is like a day in cosmic time, right? One day in a human life is probably a lot different for a smaller creature, an ant, let's say. I used to wonder about that when I was a kid. Do ants even see us? Do they even experience us? Because they move so fast, or a fly even, right? They move so fast that we must seem like we're moving in slow motion, right? You ever seen an ant that just kind of is a little bit lazy, moves kind of slow? No, they all seem like they're zooming around. Does a fly ever kind of fly slow? No. They're going at, but I'm sure they do. I'm sure there's a fly that says, I'm going to fly slow today because I'm tired. But we don't experience that. That's why maybe they don't perceive us in the same way. We don't move fast or slow. We're just always very, very slow. I don't know. It could be. So this, to me, this card is talking about trying to hold back this rush, this feeling, this fire energy that we see with the princess, the queen, the knight of wands. We don't need to be in such a rush, right? That we can slow down. And we can attain freedom, right? I mean, we got the World card. It's the universe. It's expansiveness. It's wide open spaces, right? It is the cosmic agora. And if we really want to create this freedom that lasts, we better do so slowly and thoughtfully. If I want to say a sentence that means anything, I better slow down and do it thoughtfully and slowly. We rush too fast, we make mistakes. We start tripping over ourselves and tripping over our words and stuff, right? My mouth and tongue can't go as fast as my thoughts go. And the world around us, even our own bodies, our own decisions, activities, actions, growth and evolution of things in our relative world, on our plane, can't move as fast as our feelings, as our thoughts. We sit with things for a while. to see how they develop within us. And I think this is a good confirmation card. I think this is a card that says, look, we're worried about this, but let's slow down. Let's not fret over the urgency, the sense of urgency. Obviously, if you're in a dangerous situation, yes, there's always urgency. Make sure you're safe and sound, okay, please. But as far as making this life-changing decision, let's take our time. Let's be slow. Let's not worry about the timing of things. The timing will work itself out. Let's just be sure of what we want and how we feel. Let's be confident and let's be unanimous and harmonious in our decision here with the Seven of Swords. And we'll find our place in the world. Right. We'll get off this fence and we'll get running around out here in outer space, and we'll make it happen, right? I think this is an important time of your life. I think there's big things going on. So let's slow down with it. Yeah. We're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, click either above or below in the video description. New readings for Gemini every Tuesday and Friday. Right, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching this video all the way through until the end. That really is helpful as far as the YouTube algorithm goes. And I appreciate that. I hope you'll watch some of your other readings, other placements. Gemini, I want you to remember that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.